December 28th, 2:30 p.m., District Court Room number 3. Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any— Aren't lawyers supposed to be all about doing things by the book? I mean, okay, Ace Attorney logic, whatever. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Von Coma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Like, okay, so some of the rules— I don't know if I should be interrupting the flow of the thing for this, but I was just talking about how I was feeling about the game and the how I was hoping the series would go. Some of the rules are a little bit wacky, and I doubt that they would stand in real courtrooms and stuff, but I haven't found anything that seems inconsistent within the games yet. Like, we're ruling— I mean, within this game yet. It's the only one I've played. Like, if they did that, the weird wacky thing in one game and then didn't let you do it in another, that would be— like, it's internally consistent, is what I'm saying. And that's what matters most, I think. Because you're not going to be able to perfectly replicate a courtroom thing and keep it interesting without having to have some moments where you suspend your disbelief. Anyway, let's get back to the case. Except that I'm still showing the bad guy's key evidence outside the court. Yes. Yes. That's internally consistent, but it's, dumb. We shouldn't be doing it. Oh, absolutely not. Ace Attorney's fictional law would not stand in real life, but as far as Japanifunia? Okay. Japanifunia is yeah, okay. California, Japan. I guess that's wherever this place takes place. Things are very consistent in game. Okay, cool. Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. Let me get a drink. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. Okay, I think I already know what I need to do, but I'm gonna press some stuff first. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream? They said we were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Ah! The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. Okay, wait, just Sorry about the confusion there. In Japan, the games take place in Japan. In the West, the games take place in California. The fan base calls this world Japanophonia because of that. Yeah, I figured it was something along those lines. But thank you for the clarification. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day? I don't remember things very clearly. Only two things. I know my father lost, and Mr. Van Karma was the prosecuting attorney. Mr. Van Karma, you were handling that case. It was 15 years ago, I don't remember the details. Hey, that's the same claim that Mr. Yoki and Edgeworth made. Oh wait, but, yeah, that was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Van Karma's evidence. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in the elevator. Yes, myself, my father, and Yana Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help, my father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. What did you do then? I was a 9-year-old boy at the time, what could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then... Just then something heavy fell at my feet. What was it? A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff, Yana Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. And you picked it up. What happened next? Threw it at Mr. Yogi and didn't stop fighting. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. A moment later, there was a single gunshot and then a scream. The gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot had that horrible scream. The scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. To this day? Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream for as long as I live. There it is. One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence, but I don't know what it means. I'd better find out and quick. Alright, let's do this. Single gunshot. That's the modern one. Wait, I didn't mean to present that. I meant to check it. Wait. Oh, but I think it was correct. I just wanted to... One bullet found in heart motor weapon was fired twice. Yeah. Yep, fired twice. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I thought it was actually going to be the pistol, but we don't have the pistol from that case. I was trying to check it to see if it was that, and I'm glad it worked out. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor. Unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Again. Which page? But do you think I've not read it? Like, by this point, you should know that I know my stuff. Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. Of course, now he's going to point out that it could have been happened before, right? Because, I mean, that's exactly what happened earlier with the boat one. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice, however, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. So you do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with the case? Well, that would be the photo, right? Your Honor, I think we will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Van Coma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. We've surprised him with something that means he's not prepared. Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident? Take that! Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So, let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired? I'm gonna have to point it out. Okay, Your Honor, please get a clue. You have the judge found direction to this photo. Oh, my. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired the second shot. Oh, hey. I brought that up last time, never mind. Someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart, the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone be? Someone else be? The murderer, of course. I knew that I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. The case summary, that's on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. If the bullet hole was in the door all along, they would have been fine because they would have been able to breathe. So the bullet hole was not in the door all along, therefore it must be related to the murder. Right? That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made the bullet hole in the door. Order! I will have order! Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Van Coma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It's highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked this second bullet. So, all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. Gah! How did this happen? I believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it, I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick? Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention? Yes, I did. Oh no. He's accepted the guilt. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today. Right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Okay, they don't doubt that there was a second shot. But without a bullet, we can't prove that it's related to the murder at all. This is all good Lake stuff. The L6, instant photo. And we have the other bullet, which has the ballistic marking, so if we found it, we could compare it. Okay, well, Mr. Wright? I have to say I have an objection, mate. Your Honor? I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object, Nick? I don't know, his case is perfect. Oh no. It must exist. What? The second bullet. Are we having another character dive in to save us again? You're still there. What? What did you just say? Nothing. Second bullet must exist. But where? Okay, wait. He threw the gun. One shot rang out and there was a scream. So he did hit somebody? Someone took it. Wait. I think I just had an epiphany. And I think I know why we're still looking around one of these pieces of evidence. It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet. It existed. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just, someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal himself in one of these cases. I don't know what this is, but like, come on. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene, but the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Well, for instance what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer. The bullet hit the murderer. Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Come on. Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Thank you. Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer themselves was shot. And they left with the second bullet still inside of them. Thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Yes. I guess that's how it would work, yes. But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. Well, if it went to the elevator door, then I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Said a lot of things. Did he say anything about someone being injured or something? Or about... Okay, I'm 90% certain that the culprit is Von Koma. So did he say anything about Von Koma being injured? Okay, well, let's find out. It's gonna flash back. Okay. Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. Must have been quite a shock for Von Koma. He took a vacation for several months after that. That was no mere vacation. Okay, yes, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. I should have known that a detail like that would come back. What if the unharmed didn't take that vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean... it could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Koma. Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright. You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Should I come out and say it now? Yes. Your Honor, there is a suspect, one lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? My hands are shaking. What? Von Koma. Von Koma? You mean Lee Von Koma, the prosecutor, the one standing right over there. Bah! You don't object? Humph. I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months, starting the day after the incident. Yet, you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, right? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. There's no doctor. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. I would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane. No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where? Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Yes, I can. Alright, Von Karma, I will prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot. Secret weapon number 3. Yeah, 3. Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? You know, when I first thought of that idea, it didn't even occur to me that he would have it removed. I just thought, oh, that's what the metal detector's gonna be for. But no, that was... The fact that I didn't counter that was kind of a missed thing on my part, but like, apparently they had a good reason for it to still be in there, which is nice. I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery, like they justified why it's still there so I can use the metal detector. Which, like, there's a whole roundabout story for why I have the metal detector that's so clever. The whole Gourdy thing was all leading up to this moment. Oh man. You know, did we ever present the parrot? Like, we brought her to the witness stand. I don't think we ever presented her. Okay, anyway, we're at the climax. I should keep coming. I should keep going. I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible? For all these years? Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm gonna run this over you and see what we find. I refuse. You refuse? But refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. It's just like claim it's an invasion of privacy or something. I don't know. Hooter. Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. George, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. There you go. A statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. Hospitals will often leave bullets in patients because it can cause more damage to remove than leave it in. Okay, so there is more than one way to justify it being in there, but still. But, I guess this way allows him to still not have left evidence. It reacted! Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma? You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. Oh, ballistic markings. This is where we use the ballistic markings. I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident, so it's not crazy for him to leave it. I claimed that bullet in my shoulder. So it's not crazy for him to leave it. Well, I mean, regardless of whether a hospital would know whether or not it causes more damage to remove, it would definitely cause more damage for a complete amateur to try and remove it himself. So yeah, it would be crazier for him to not leave it. Yes, I get your point. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here, not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Mr. Von Karma's shoulder... Okay, wait. The obvious thing to do, and so what we're going to do, we're going to present the other bullet with the ballistic markings on it. But the obvious thing to do would be to ask him where he did get the bullet from. But sure, whatever. Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. It's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. One day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof. Wait a minute, he instigated this whole incident. And he could have gotten away scot-free if he hadn't. I guess this is his version of, or this was his attempt at, like, tying up loose ends because of his sense of perfection or something. But this guy's crazy. What? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. Take that! That's a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings. We're gonna flash back to when we were describing ballistic markings. You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Yeah, I'm not gonna... For fingerprints of a weapon, all bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets, and then if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol. In other words, the mood. That scream. Oh! I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Help! I can't breathe! Are we really going through the whole scene again? Quiet! I said quiet, you're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air! Get away! Get away from my father! It's that scream I heard in the elevator. 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Making that pointing sprite work from another angle. Mr. Von Karma? Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Only you would dare defy me! So it was you. You were... Oh boy. You and your father are my curse! Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you! I'll bury you with my bare hands! Death! Death! 15 years earlier. Chief Prosecutor, I'm sorry, but Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I had ever known. It was destiny. Reusing the graphic. In his last moments, Gregory... Because that was in the opening cinematic. Right? Yeah. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge? What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now! End it! Huh. It's a lot better than I thought. I mean, there was that whole headbanging thing earlier, but, and screaming. But you know, he's pretty composed now that he's had a chance to get it out, I guess. Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Well, not really. He had everything right. He just drew the wrong conclusions from what he remembered. Like, the memory itself was correct. The scream happened, the gunshot happened, he threw the thing. He just drew incorrect conclusions from... But yeah. So it's not just a nightmare. All of that stuff actually happened. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. December 28th, 538 District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Nick, we did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crushed! I gotta say, I'm impressed. It was pretty close, though. I was sure we'd had it. I know, I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. So, it's finally over, Mr. Why am I still calling him Mr.? It doesn't say Mr. No, it's... I can't talk. So it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right? Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Try thank you. I see. Thank you, right. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Sorry, I'm not good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. She's got you there. Woo! Amazing, pal! You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth, you should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see. Okay, I feel foolish. Don't worry, take it a little at a time, you'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen it with this unguarded. Hey, y'all! Lotta! Y'all were great in there! Thank you. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats! And thank y'all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Objection? Just look at you. You would stick your head in the cookie jar even if no one was there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer real quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Oh no. Huh? It's over, Nick. My life is over. It's his girlfriend. Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Beyonce. She's going to live in Paris. Paris, Nick. Well, don't send the clock with her. She might wind up dead. She's leaving me behind. Should have seen that coming. Yo, Edgy, there you are. Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Is it a clock? Don't, you're gonna kill him. Don't give him a clock. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Hey, Bats, you come along tonight too. My treat, pal. Huh? Thanks. I'm looking forward to it. Yo, Nick, that's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? That might be what he can afford. I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right? Yeah, what's up? That envelope that... Oh, see, whenever one of these items comes up in the box, I have it behind the chat window. Well, yeah. That's not strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? Huh. What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. What is... $38 exactly. Wait, was that the amount? Nick? Wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? I thought you weren't there. $38? No! No! Larry, it was you! What are you so surprised about, right? Huh? He was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. Well, think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was booed, so he came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Heh. Edgeworth, you didn't know, do you? Did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right? You may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know. Really, right? I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this sure is an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth? You should have told me. Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. Yeah, it is probably shorter for theft than murder. There you have it. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. Well, you have always been something of an insufferable emotionalist. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily, too. Death! The death sentence for both of you! Man, if only I'd known I'd become a prosecutor. Same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought that I might have killed my own father. I thought that I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth? Want to switch, right? Hey, y'all, line up, I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time, let's go! Alright, after that, dinner on me. Detective Gumshoe took us out onto town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. I guess they're still processing or something? I don't know. December 29th, 5:02 a.m., Wright and Company Law Offices. Whoa, I'm a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Huh? Still only 5 o'clock. Maybe I should go back to sleep. What's this, a letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't. I was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye? What time is it? Gah! The first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station! It was 5 o'clock, right? That's what it said? Or that's what he said? I guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick! Maya! So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Okay, as much as I would like to say I can handle things myself, I'm pretty sure Nick can't. Be good, okay? Like, just given what I've seen from him. Wait! What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. What? You heard my sister? Yes, only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Oh, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. Okay, you're the one who pointed out that thing that Grossberg said. About the vacation. I wouldn't even... I mean, it occurred to me, because I had suspected him before. But it wouldn't have occurred to Phoenix. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. You were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? It's this one, right?
Take that!
A bullet? Yeah, you took a bullet for me. Or for Edgeworth. You did it for somebody. Von Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to the L6, but you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me. Nah. Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. I'll be back soon. Huh? I'm going to complete my training and come back. I am not looking forward to most spirit medium shenanigans, but like, I do like the actual character aside from that. So, whatever. Okay, I'll be waiting. Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself, you're hopeless. I don't know about that. Yeah, you are. So, this is it. See you soon, Maya. Thanks, Nick. And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. You still are. Now a new story begins. With the same old crazy cast of characters. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim. Yes, Your Honor. I got a bad feeling about this. Perhaps this would have been a better time to talk about my thoughts about the game. Hey pal, Mr. Edwards came down to the precinct to wish me a happy new year. Talk about a pleasant surprise. Whoa! Detective Gumshoe! Then he hugged his head low and went right back outside. Kinda like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh? Like, I was not enjoying it much up until this case. This case sold it for me, and it has me at least somewhat looking forward to the next games. Huh? Nick? No, I haven't seen him lately. Who, me? I've been working at She's shop. Aunt Missy's a nice lady, but she's not exactly what you'd call a cheap... Like, if the other games approach the quality of this last case, I think I've already said this episode, but if they do, I'm looking forward to them. Oh, right? Yeah, I remember him. I hear he's been busy lately. You know, and I'm not to ring my own bell, but I sort of taught him everything he knows. I'm sure he's grateful. Yeah, no. And I might just play through the series just to give me an excuse to do the Professor Layton crossover. Phoenix Wright. The defense attorney for whom I wrote that affidavit for, yes. Oh, you should know I've taken over management of the Gatewater Hotel recently. Should you be in the area, please stop by. I don't know if I'm doing these character voices the same way I did them before. I hope nobody was expecting me to. Oh, it's you. Phoenix Wright? Yes, me as understudy, was he not? I wonder how he's doing. I haven't seen him of late. The days of my youth. Like the scent of fresh lemon, you see? His voice always hurts my throat. Phoenix Wright? Is he an actor? Well, I'm not buying it. You can't be a star with a name like Phoenix. Did you know they finally put his... Nope. Nope, I'm done. It's over. You were my least favorite character, I think. No, it was probably the directing. I'm pleased to announce The Pink Princess is a hit. I'm sure that Mr. Wright a great deal. Oh, and I'm keeping my face out of the public eye until the show's over. I wouldn't want to ruin any kid's dreams, you know? It's probably, like, next, isn't he? Or somewhere coming up, because they're doing all this. Been said, I guess this is... I mean, what time is it? Do I have time to talk about things for another minute? No, it's already past 9. Alright, maybe I'll do a follow-up video at some point with, like, the rest of my thoughts, but I mean, I feel like I've gone over most of my stats, but to put all of my stats in one place. But I guess that's it for this time, because we're already kind of